want to extract local business data from Google Maps automatically? In this video, I will show you how to scrape Google Maps like a pro using n8n workflows and Apify. No coding needed. Check out the links in the description if you would like to get all the resources used to build this automation. Tools we need to set up this automation are n8n. n8n stands for Nodemation. n8n is a powerful workflow automation tool which allows you to connect different applications and services, automate tasks, and build complex workflows visually. It is similar to automation tools like Zapier and Make.com. It is not open source, but it is sustainable use license. There are no license costs associated with its use. You have two options for getting access to n8n tool. The easiest option is to sign up for their cloud version and subscribe. This is their cloud version web page, and here is their pricing plans page. They have monthly and yearly subscriptions. For annual subscription, we have starter plan for $20 per month and pro plan for $50 per month, and an enterprise plan. We can switch to monthly. The prices will be slightly higher. Starter plan is $24 per month, pro plan is $60 per month, and an enterprise plan. Another option is to install it on your own, like I have it here. This is my local installation. I made several videos on different ways you can install n8n. You can check the video description for all the links. Then you will need OpenAI API key. This is the OpenAI website. I made a separate video with the title n8n automation, how to create OpenAI credentials in n8n. You can refer to the link in the video description. Then you will need Apify. Apify is a web scraping platform that allows you to extract data from websites. In this video, we will extract data from Google Maps. You can create a free account with Apify, and once you create the account, make note of your API key. Then we will use Google Sheets to store the scraped results. Here are the different columns in this Google Sheet. We have ID, name, email, phone, service, city, URL, and platform. Gather all above details beforehand so that you can build n8n workflow without interruption. Download the resources I provided in the description before you start building the automation. Using the template will save you a lot of time compared to building it from scratch. First, let us look at the Apify setup. As I mentioned earlier, Apify is a web scraping platform. It's a marketplace where you can find different web scrapers developed by professionals and are offered for a small price. You can create a free account in Apify, but you may need to pay if you want to use certain web scrapers. You will also receive a $5 credit. As you can see here, I have $5 credit and I have a free account. This credit resets every month. This allows you to scrape over 800 places on Google Maps for free with these credits. To continue with our tutorial, log into your Apify account. Then once you are logged in, click on this store icon. Here you can search for the scraper you are interested in. For example, you can find Instagram scrapers by typing in Instagram here and press enter. Now you got a list of Instagram scrapers developed by different developers. These scrapers are called actors in Apify. As we are interested in finding an actor for Google Maps, type in Google Maps here. Here we can see different actors available offered by different developers. You can choose the one that you want to use. In our case, let us use this specific actor. This is developed by Compass. Let me click on this to display more details about the actor. You can see it has different tabs here. You can click on each one to become more familiar with it. Here you have more information about the extractor. Let us build the extractor manually. I want to search for landscaping companies, so I have entered landscaping here as a search term. Then I want to search for Houston location, so I have entered Houston here. We're going to scrape just 10 leads for this example, so I entered 10 here. Then I want to specify more parameters in the geolocation parameters. Expand the geolocation parameters. I have entered the country here as US, and then city as Houston, then state as Texas. I also entered the postal code here. Once you have entered all the necessary criteria for the scraper, click on this save button to save your changes. We can also click on the start button to see whether our actor runs successfully. Let me click on the start button. You see the message running the actor. We see the succeeded message here and it says scraping finished. That means our actor is working as expected. You can also see the results in this window. Now this is good enough if all you want is to run the actor and get the results, but our intention is to build an automation using the scraping functionality. For that we are going to create our n8n workflow automation. To start working with the template, first log into your n8n account. Once you are in the n8n canvas, click on this plus sign and select workflow option. Click on the three dots on the top right here and select import from file option. Navigate to the directory where you saved the template files. Select this FBS web scrape Google Maps JSON file and click on this open button. You can see the workflow has been imported. This is the first node we have in the workflow, which is the chat trigger node. It is used to initiate a workflow when a message is received from user. It is used generally with AI nodes. Double click in the node to open the node configuration. Here we can see the node has few parameters, but we are not going to use any of those parameters. Click on this back to canvas button. Next we have AI agent node. The AI agent node in n8n is a powerful tool that allows you to integrate large language models and build sophisticated conversational AI workflows directly within your n8n automations. It acts as a bridge between your n8n workflow and the LLM. The AI agent node can also be configured to use tools as you can see it here. In this workflow, we will use it to call the Google Maps web scraper tool. Let us open the AI agent node to look at its configuration. Double click on the node to open the configuration. In the agent field, we have selected the tools agent option. In the source for prompt field, we have selected connected chat trigger node, and here we specified a prompt instructing the agent on what it should be doing. Let us look at this prompt. You can go into full screen mode by clicking this arrow button here. We are telling that you are the personal assistant that excels at web scraping. Your job is to send the user's query to the correct tool, and here we have specified more details about the tool. We have specified this is a tool name, Google Maps web scraper. Then we are saying use this tool to web scrape Google. You will want to aggregate all the results together and send a list back to the user. And these are the workflow inputs that we are providing. First is search field. Here we are specifying the industry, for example landscaping, and then we are giving the location details. Here it needs to use the city, and then what state it should use, and then which country it should use. Click on this X to close this window. Click on this back to canvas button again. As you can see here, the AI agent has 3 more components that need to be configured as well. They are the chat model, memory, and tool configuration. Double click on this chat model to open it up. Here in the credential to connect with, enter your OpenAI credentials. If you did not already create the credential, you can refer to the video link in the description. In the model field, we have selected GPT-4o mini. This model is least expensive and has good performance. Let us go back to canvas. Now double click on this window buffer memory. The window buffer memory setting controls how much of the conversation history the AI agent remembers during its interactions. It is like giving the AI agent a short-term memory of recent exchanges. The window buffer memory stores a certain number of the most recent interactions, which can be messages, prompts, and responses between the user and the AI agent. Here we are telling it to remember the past 5 interactions. If you want more, then you can change this number to 10 as per your requirement. Let us go back to the canvas. Next, we are going to specify the details about the tool that should be invoked to do the actual web scraping. We are going to build a separate workflow for this tool, which is going to do the heavy lifting for us. Double click on it to open the configuration. You can click here and change the name of the node if you want to. Here it is mentioned Google Maps web scraper. You can change it and then click this rename button, and then the node name will reflect the new name. In the name field, we need to specify the tool name that matches with the name in the AI agent prompt so that it knows which tool to call. If you remember, we have seen earlier in the AI agent prompt that we gave the tool name as Google_Maps_Web_Scraper. Here we have provided the description of the tool. You can see here that n8n is telling this tool will call the workflow you define below and look in the last node for the response. The workflow needs to start with an execution workflow trigger. Scroll down. So here we have specified that it should call this FBS Google Maps workflow. Here we are also specifying the input schema for the workflow that we are calling. We have mentioned that it will receive search, location, state and country as inputs. Now let us look at how we have defined the workflow. If you have not already imported the second workflow, please do so now. To do that, click on this plus sign, then select workflow option, then click on these three dots here, then select import from file option. Navigate to the directory where you saved the template files. Select the second template file, which is fbs_googlemaps.json, and click on this open button. You can see the second workflow has been imported. First we have when executed by another workflow node. This node in n8n acts as a trigger. It starts the workflow it is in when another n8n workflow specifically calls it. It is how you create linked or chained workflows. Think of it as a way to build modular workflows where one workflow can initiate and pass data to another. Double click on the node to open it up. Here we have specified an example of sample data it will receive in JSON format. It will receive a search word for the specific industry. For example, landscaping, meaning we are looking for landscapers. Then it will receive location details like city, state and country in which we are searching for landscapers. Essentially, we are scraping Google Maps for the landscapers in this specified location. You can also see we have pinned this sample data, which is helpful during workflow development. Data pinning means saving the output data of a node and using the saved data instead of fetching fresh data in future workflow executions. Now let us go back to canvas. Next we want to run our Apify actor to extract the data we are interested in. We will be using a HTTP request node. The HTTP request node is for interacting with web services and APIs. Essentially, it allows you to send HTTP requests like get, post, put, delete to a specified URL and receive the response. Let us open the node by double clicking on it. Here we selected the post method. The post method is used to send data to a server to create or update a resource. It is one of the primary methods for interacting with APIs and web services. The most common use of post method is to create something new on the server. Here we are posting a request to run an instance of our Apify actor. Here in the URL field, we provided the API endpoint for running the Apify extractor. We can look in the Apify API documentation on details about which API endpoint we need to use. Let us go back to Apify web page. Click on the documentation option on the left menu here. Then go to API menu and select reference option. Here you can see the complete list of available Apify API endpoints. Scroll down till you find Apify actor runs APIs. Here we have the actor runs APIs. Since we are interested in running an actor, click on this post run actor API. Here it will display details about how to call the API and how to use it. We can see this is the endpoint URL we need to use. We just need to substitute this actor ID with our own actor ID. We can find our actor ID by looking at our Apify actor URL. Let me look at the Apify actor URL. This is our Apify actor URL. You can copy the string between the word actors and input this way and paste it here. You can see this string exactly matches with the string I just showed you. We can also click on this corner to go into full screen mode. We are also appending an additional parameter that says wait for finish is equal to 300. What this means is that we want to wait till the actor finishes extracting all the results. We're going to wait for 300 seconds, that is 5 minutes. This is enough time to extract reasonable amount of data. This may not work properly if the extraction takes more than 5 minutes. Let us close this window. In the authentication field, we selected none. Then we need to send headers information. Scroll down. We can refer to the Apify API documentation on what fields we need to specify here. Let us go back to the Apify documentation for this specific API. Here it mentions we need to send the content type and the authorization. Let us switch back to n8n workflow. We are sending those two headers. The first is content type and the value of that header is application/JSON. We also need to send the authorization header. The authorization header is specified by the word bearer, then space, and then your Apify API key. I will show you where to find your Apify API key. Let us switch back to Apify web page. Click on the settings option here on the left side and select API and integrations tab here. Then you can click on this create a new token button here. Give any description here you want. I'm just calling it n8n demo. Then click on this create button. Here you will see the message API token was created. Then click on this to copy the API key. Switch back to n8n workflow and paste it into this field here after the bearer word with a space in between. Next we need to send the body also that contains the request parameters to the Apify actor. For the body content type, we have selected JSON, and for the specify body field, we have selected using JSON. Then in the JSON field, we need to provide the JSON specification of the Apify actor. Click on this corner to go into full screen mode. This is nothing complicated. We can get this easily by going to the actor definition. Now let us go back to the Apify web page. Then click on this actors option. Let us click on our actor name, which is Google Maps extractor. Here we are in the actor definition page. Make sure you are on the input tab here and then click on this JSON tab. You can see this is the JSON definition of our Apify actor. You just need to copy this entire content. Let me copy this entire content and then switch back to n8n workflow and then paste it here. I'm just showing you this example. We already have the real values here. Now we want to parameterize this to be dynamic and can have different values for different runs. The way you can do the parameterization is grab the field on the left hand side that represents the value here and then place it here. For example, for search string array, grab this field and then place it here. Then you can erase this actual value. Now this is parameterized. Similarly, we can replace this city with the location parameter from here. Now you have the location parameterized. Similarly, you can replace this country code with country field from here. Let me replace this location query from this search field here and then let us replace the state with state field from here. Now you can see this matches with the actual values that we had. Now I can remove this as we already have the values here. We can close this window now. With that, we are done configuring this node. Click on this back to canvas button. So far we have extracted the data and Apify stores the data in a certain location on its servers. Now we need to go and fetch that data. We're going to use HTTP request node one more time. This time we will use it to fetch the result set. Before we look at configuring this module, let us run the Apify node once so that the necessary data will be available for this fetch results node. You can simply click on this play button to run this node. You can see this node is running and the node completed successfully. We can also verify that the actor ran by checking in the Apify website. Let us go back to the Apify website and click on this runs option. Here on the right side, we can see the latest run of the actor that shows the actor ran successfully. You can click on the run to look at the output produced. Let us go back to n8n workflow again. Now double click on this node to open the configuration. In the method field, we selected get method as we are fetching data from the Apify website. In the URL field, we specified another API endpoint that will fetch the data. We can look at the details of this API endpoint by going back again to the Apify API documentation. Let us switch to the API documentation. This time scroll down to datasets API endpoints. Here you can see the datasets APIs. Since we want to retrieve the data, click on this get items API. We can get all the details about this API by referring to the documentation here. It will have the URL details and also details on how the API can be used. This is the URL that we need to use. We just need to substitute this dataset ID with our own dataset ID value, and here we can see it returns data stored in the dataset in different formats, and we want the data in JSON format. Now let us switch back to the n8n node configuration. Here we have substituted the dataset ID with a variable that gets filled dynamically when the previous node finishes execution. Let us go to full screen mode by clicking on this corner, and also we have specified the desired format, which is JSON, here as part of the URL. Now let us close this window. We're able to substitute with this variable because we ran the previous node, and let us scroll down. Here you see this default dataset ID field that we have used it here. In the authentication field, we selected none. Scroll down. Again, we can refer to the Apify API documentation on what fields we need to specify here. Let us switch back to Apify documentation. We can see we need to send the accept header and its value as application/JSON. That is what we have used here. Header name is accept and then the value is application/JSON. This is all we need for this node configuration, and let us click this test step button to see how it is working. The node ran successfully and we can see the output here. Let us go back to the canvas. Next we have the Google Sheets node. The Google Sheets node in n8n enables you to automate interactions between your workflows and Google Sheets. Essentially, it allows you to read, write and manipulate data within your spreadsheets. Double click on the node to open up the configuration. You will need to create Google Credentials to connect to your Google Drive where you stored the Google Sheet. I created a separate video with the title n8n Automation, how to create Google Credentials in n8n. You can refer to the link in the video description. You can follow the same process mentioned in that video to create a Google Sheet account. Here I am already connected to my Google Sheet account. The next step is to map the columns in the spreadsheet to columns of the dataset we got. For the ID field, we just dragged this search page URL and dropped it here, and for the name field, we dragged this title field and dropped it here. This Apify extractor does not give the email information, so we left it blank. For the phone, we have used this phone field. For the service field, we used this search string field. For the city, we mapped it to this city field, and for the URL we mapped it to this website field, and for the platform field we hard coded Google Maps value. Now that we have finished configuring this Google Sheets module, let us run a quick test to see how this node is working. By clicking on this test step button, we can see that it ran successfully and produced desired output here. Let us go back to canvas. Finally, we have this aggregate node. It serves the purpose of combining multiple data items into a single consolidated item. Double click on this node to open it up. In the aggregate field, we have selected all item data into a single list value, and then in the put output in field, we have selected data, which means the data field will contain all the values. Then in the include field, we have selected all fields. Let us run a quick test to see how this node is working. By clicking on this test step button, we can see that it ran successfully. Here we have all the records under this data field as we have specified here in this node configuration. Click on this back to canvas button, then click on this save button to save your workflow. Keep saving your workflow frequently as this workflow is not automatically saved. At this point, we finished configuration of all the nodes and the workflows as well. Now it is time to test the entire workflow and see how it is working. Click on this overview button to display your workflows. Then let me open this web scrape Google Maps workflow. Now click on this chat button to type in the query to scrape Google Maps data. Before we run our workflow, let us look at the web scraping results Google Sheet. Here we can see it is empty. Let us go back to n8n workflow. Here I pasted my query which says, "Hi, can you please scrape Google Maps in the city of Houston in state Texas for plumbing services," and hit enter to send your query to the web scraper. We can see that our web scraper workflow is running. We can see our workflow finished successfully and gave back the results here. It says here are some plumbing services in Houston, Texas. Here you can see it is giving the company name, Precise Plumbing and Air, their phone number and their website. Let us also look at the Google Sheet and see whether the information got updated here. You see here we got the 10 results as we requested. Everything seems to be working fine.